Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another video game review. This time, I am finally going to be talking about Astro Bot. It took me a while for me to get this game, but I knew I was probably going to get it for my birthday. And after hearing the massive amount of praise this game has been getting, like seriously, this game has been receiving so many 10 out of 10s, 100 out of 100, and it has a 94 Metacritic, which is literally higher than every other new game that has come out this year. So yeah, just hearing all the buzz saying how it's one of the greatest new PlayStation exclusives made me even more excited to play it. And now that I have beaten it, I haven't finished it, I kind of wanted to wait and platinum the game before reviewing it because actually a good amount of people have gotten to platinum the game. It's not as difficult to get as some other platinum trophies for PlayStation exclusives, but there's just this one level that I was stuck on, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to beat it anytime soon. But hey, I completed most of the game, so I figured why not just talk about it because, you know, the new Legend of Zelda game just came out, and I knew I wanted to play that as well. Plus, there are a bunch of other games coming out that I need to play because I haven't even gotten close to having enough games for my Game of the Year list. So yeah, I really need to get on that. But Astro Bot. Astro is a brand new PlayStation mascot. He was first seen in 2018 with Astro Bot Rescue Mission, which is a PlayStation VR game, which is a lot of fun. I think it's one of the best PlayStation VR games. But if you never got to play that, mainly because you're not into PlayStation VR games, then truly your introduction to him, if you got a PS5, was Astro's Playroom, which was a tech demo for the PS5. Literally every single PlayStation 5 owner had the game, including myself. And yeah, it's short, but it gives you exactly what to expect with the new DualSense controller and what exactly it would have to offer in terms of other PlayStation exclusives. But, you know, it isn't used as often. But Astro Bot definitely seems to be using it a lot. And yeah, this game is certainly no exception. As Astro is on a mission, his ship, which is a PlayStation 5, crash lands and all the pieces are located in other worlds. And you, as Astro Bot, has to go out and go on various different levels and try to get those pieces back. And throughout the game, you're going to be rescuing a lot of bots, as there are 300 to collect. Actually, there are some hidden ones that you also have to collect as well, but that's not till later on in the game. And Astro Bot, it's a massive collectathon. You know, like those classic 3D platformers where there are a lot of little things you can collect, and you'll probably never get it finished anytime soon because there's so much to collect. This game actually doesn't have as much as collectibles as something like Donkey Kong 64 or any of those types of games, but we're living in an era where we're not fully relying on single-player games to entertain us. Mostly it's just live service games, but you know, most of the time it's been gaining a lot of controversy for the amount of microtransactions and season passes and all that. But when it comes to games like this, these are the ones that I get excited for the most. And Team Asobi, the creators behind Astro Bot, really managed to pull it off here, and the praise is real. I feel like this deserves all the love that it's been receiving from gamers and critics alike. This is a game that truly shows what makes PlayStation so special. Because of course, Astro Bot is known for, you know, having all these like little cameos of other PlayStation mascots, and throughout the game, there are actually tons of Astro Bots that are dressed in different costumes from other PlayStation games like God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, even The Last of Us. I was so happy to see that there were little Last of Us cameos here and there. And also, PlayStation games that were originally on PlayStation but are now available on Xbox and other consoles like Persona and Resident Evil. So it's showing so much love for PlayStation as a whole, how it was a big company and how it was made to rival Nintendo after a disagreement they have on a specific console. So they decided to do things on their own. And throughout the years, they have just managed to knock it out of the park with their exclusives. And this game is no exception. And of course, you know, people complain that PS5 has no games. Well, the PS5 has this, and 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 now they have this. I know some of those were on PS4, but PS5 is the best way to play those. But Yeah, Astro Bot, what can I say? All that I have to say about this game is how it just takes you back to all those times where you just played games for fun. This is not the type of game where you rely on a story to fully invest you and immerse you into this experience. All you need to do is just play the game. And the way the PlayStation mascots are put into this are actually done in a very creative way. Once in a while, after you beat a main boss, you'll then do levels heavily inspired by other PlayStation properties like Uncharted, Horizon, and God of War, which I had a lot of fun with and felt that the use of it was very creative, very inventive, and truly takes you to a time where you played those games for the first time and just had a blast with them. And there was a lot of love and care put into them. And sure, you could just say, well, it's just a bunch of cameos and all that. It's nothing special. It's nothing new. Well, yeah, it's your basic 3D platformer, but isn't that something we all miss? 3D platformers that just give us a warm feeling as we're playing it. Sure, we might get frustrated with them once in a while, but we're just having such a blast with them, with all of its charm and its wacky humor and its style. And yeah, the game tends to be very wacky with its bosses as well. Some of the levels even have like little mini bosses just before finishing that specific level, kind of like in Mega Man. And there are, of course, these main bosses, which were very creative, and they weren't a massive struggle either. If you're trying to get through this game and trying to just make it to the very end of the game, that it's not really too difficult, but of course, if you want to get everything, it still provides a bit of a challenge, but isn't always frustrating. Like I mentioned before, I've been trying to platinum the game, but there's this one level, the final level, I knew was going to be an absolute struggle. The Great Master Challenge, which I see so many people manage to make it through, and 16% of people have actually managed to get the platinum trophy. I know that doesn't seem like much, but trust me, it is a lot more than you would expect. So yeah, and the more I've been playing it, the more people have been managing the platinum. So, and I'm just confused as how, because I cannot get past the final part of that with these little birds that keep popping out. Oh my god, they were irritating, and I just feel like I'm timing my jumps just right, but I have to time my jumps like, yeah, it was annoying, but, sometimes I just blame myself. But yeah, the game isn't always punishingly difficult, despite the fact that you do die in one hit, except on the main bosses, but the game has a great checkpoint system when it comes to its main levels. And I should also mention that even if you don't collect every single thing in that specific level, you can always go back and pay in-game currency to get this little bird to show you how close you are to another collectible. That way, you'll never have to worry about looking up a walkthrough. Though it does save you a bit of in-game currency because you're going to need to use that as well to go to this vending machine that has like very different collectibles that you can collect. So yeah, but the game provides a lot of replayability because once you finish it, you probably didn't get everything that the game had to offer. And even the main base, there are things to collect as well. The game always encourages the player to look at every single area throughout the levels to make sure they don't miss anything so they can move on with trying another new stage. And there's been an announcement of free DLC, so the game has a lot of care put into it and isn't heavily relying on, just adding in all these other features so people will pay up. All you have to do is pay the $60, well, 70 if you want the digital deluxe edition, which has like other features, but other than that, it's a finished game, and the game runs smoothly. It is a breathtaking game to look at. I loved every single hidden detail that the game had, and the soundtrack fits absolutely perfectly, and I just loved listening to it, just listening to those beats. And some of them have lyrics which I couldn't fully understand, but I didn't care that the beats were so catchy that I completely forgot about it. And I could just go on and on and on at how much creativity that the game has to offer, and its usage of motion controls once in a while actually do feel like they work pretty well. I mean, they are clunky at some times, but motion controls, they're never perfect. They'll never be perfect. I feel like the best way they work well is when you're playing a VR game, but still, the game just had so much charm to it that by the end of it, I just didn't want it to be over. That's why it encourages players to want to go back and play more. This is a finished game that does not rely heavily on, live service elements. All that the game is a 3D platformer where you just can enjoy the experience while not having to worry about any story or character development. This isn't something that you have to dive deep into. All you have to do is just play it and enjoy the experience, and it's never too challenging when it comes to its main levels, but of course, it never it never always holds the player's hand when it comes to those other challenges that you will have to face off, like these little ones with the shapes, like these little speedrun levels that, they're like little levels that involve like the shapes, like the square, the triangle, the X, and the O. And I feel like that's where the game goes at its hardest. But hey, the game is so much fun, and it's so much fun trying to collect every single little thing that it's definitely encouraging. And it's not really a complaint in terms of these challenges, because games like this do tend to have challenges, and I just had so much fun trying to do these challenges, even though I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack just when I feel like I'm just about to beat a certain level. And yeah, it was a pain, but one of these days I do want to try it. I mean, hey, I beat Cuphead. I completed the whole game. I mean, sure, there are other things you have to do in that game in order to fully complete it, but hey, I managed to beat it with a lot of challenge, but hey, was able to finish it. But in the end, guys, I just have so much love for this game, and it is a game that I was hoping would be at least really good because of how much charm the previous games had to them. Astro Bot Rescue Mission being one of the best VR games, Astro's Playroom being one of the best tech demos to be ever put on a console, and you do not even need to buy it. It's already installed into your PS5, and the fact that we now have a full game anyone can pick up and play, I feel like it definitely earns the revenue that it gets. And it hasn't been receiving a whole lot. Like, some people just have been ignoring this game, just going to their live service games. Guys, what are you doing? Give this game support. There was a lot of love put into this game, and the struggles going on with the video game industry as of now, you owe it to yourself to wanting to go back and having a good time playing an immersive platformer that just oozes with charm and never seems to slow down when it comes to its level design, its fun cameos, and just being an all-out love letter to people who grew up with PlayStation. And I want to see more into this franchise, and as far as I know, there will be more as long as people go out and support it. Pick it up, play it. I really can't find any major complaints other than the struggles I've had with those levels, but hey, they're made to be difficult. All I can say is that I enjoyed every moment that I had with this game. I did not want it to end. I just wanted to continue playing it, though, like I said before, I have other games I have to play before the year ends, but all I can say is that it truly deserves to be called one of the best games of the year. I wouldn't even be surprised if it manages winning Game of the Year, because I feel like it truly deserves it. It's a work of art, it's a masterpiece, it's one of the best PlayStation 5 games of all time, and hell, one of the best PlayStation games I've ever played. I loved every single second that I've had with this game, and I highly advise you to play it. If you have a PS5, this is a must-own. I knew it would be good, but this level good, I am so glad that this blew my expectations out of the water, and I really couldn't find a major complaint I had with it. And yeah, it pretty much shows that Astro is here to stay. Again, 5 out of 5 doesn't always mean perfect. Like, seriously, some of my favorite games of all time have flaws, but this game, because there wasn't really a major thing that I complained about, and I was just so invested with all that was going on in terms of what the game had to offer, in terms of its collectibles, I do think it deserves all the love that it's been receiving, and all I can say is that you just need to play it. You owe it to yourself. If you think that gaming has really not been going all that well this year, play Astro Bot. You'll thank me later. It'll probably make up for it. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.